What's up, guys? We're back with week 4 of the GBA. This week is against Deathstroke, aka Kyle. He's the owner of the Chicago Granbulls. I'm sorry I didn't upload most of this week. If you guys can go out into the universe and find the time that I lost from this week and give it back to me, that'd be fantastic. But let's get right into the battle, guys. So now, this match I think I've prepared for the most, and it's also my favorite match thus far in the GBA. So, I started off with Charizard. My idea was, regardless of what he started off with, Charizard would hit it pretty hard. And if you looked at his team structure, he had a lot of walls, so Charizard would take on most anything. So I Mega Evolve right off the bat. There's no reason to stay as Charizard, also because of the whole technicality thing, I can't stay as Charizard anyway. I go for the Dragon Claw. I know his Slowbro is defensive. I remember that from his last battle, because I am sub to Kyle, and I knew what he was packing. I didn't know if he was packing T-Wave, though. I heard that he was, but then, I guess after the battle, he told me he wasn't. So I was a little concerned, and I was like, maybe if he T-Waves Charizard now, I'm fucked, because that thing was a huge way for me to win this battle, and it turns out to be, as you'll see. Anyway, he scalds Starmie. I switch it in. It doesn't, Dragon Claw has minimal damage. He goes into Blissey. I T-Bolt. I didn't think he was saying, but I was like, safe plays. Safe plays. I'll start off with safe plays and move from there. I go for T-Wave, and then he thought it was Scarfed in his narration. He definitely thought it was Scarfed. He was like, well, if this is a Scarf Starmie, I'm like, no, it's not a Scarf Starmie. It's Life Orb. So I go for Side Shock. It does a lot of damage to this Blissey, and thank God, because this thing is a pain, and obviously if it's you special attackers left and then the Blissey is left, you lose, because Blissey can just eat it up. So, he predicts a second Side Shock, and he goes into Mawile. He figures he can get some free setup. However, I did prepare for this. I did, do what I could, understanding his team structure and how his team worked, and I prepared for all this. So, this Delphox is special. This is my Power Herb one, but I took off the Power Herb. I also took off Solar Beam. Now, he goes for the Swords Dance. This is the Swords on the Switch, obviously. So this Delphox I made specifically for this battle because I figured it would help me a lot. So he goes for Sucker Punch after the Swords Dance, thinking, oh yeah, he's just going to go straight for Flamethrower. No, not quite. I put Will-O-Wisp on this Delphox specifically for this Mawile. I figured he's going to think that I'm just going to hit him with an attack, namely Flamethrower or Fire Blast. But if I go for the Will-O-Wisp, not only Sucker Punch miss, but I also cut his attack in half, regardless of any kind of boosts. So that saved my ass, because I was so afraid of this Mawile. This Mawile, when I was doing testing and stuff, ran through my team. Like, it devastated my team. So I go into Charizard. Sucker Punch still is a clean 50%. But I take him out with the Flare Blitz. I was not going to mess around and play with my food. This thing had to die, and it had to die now. So I get rid of it, the Flare Blitz. So Charizard now is 1 kill. I go for the Roost. He didn't expect me to have the Roost. He said in his narration, he goes, I expect it just to be fully offensive with no Roost, Dragon Dance 3 attacks. No, I don't do that. He goes for the Nightshade. I know about the Sableye. The Sableye is a Trick, Nightshade, Recover, and Will-O-Wisp set. And he's trapped into it. But the way, I guess what he said was, there's no other Pokemon that he can really go into. Yeah, he can go into Slowbro, but all of his Pokemon, because there's nothing that really is threatening this Charizard right off the bat, is just setup fodder. Blissey, if he goes into Blissey, why would he go into Blissey? Because Blissey can't take anything, especially not a physical attack, would die. If he goes into Slowbro, I can just set up all on it, and I don't think he had T-Wave, because he would have went for it when I switched to my Starmie, which is why I switched to my Starmie before. So this is just an ordeal where he's Nightshading, and I'm roosting. I'm roosting twice, I think, and Dragon Dancing once. So I'm roosting twice, and then I'll let him get 50 or 100 damage off, and I'll roost and Dragon Dance. I'm doing this because I figure if I get to +2 or +3, I'm pretty sure that I win, because +2, +3 puts me at like base 200 speed, and it essentially outspeeds his entire team, and Dragon Claw would rip through everything on his team. So, after 2 Dragon Dances and him Nightshading a bunch of times, I just drove for the Dragon Claw. That's it. Sableye's gone. 2 kills for Charizard. So he goes into Slowbro. He said this thing was bulky enough to take hits, and I completely agree with that. This thing takes, I think, at least a +4 without, or +3 without dying, +4 gets taken out. So he goes for the Scald. He was hoping at this point that he would, get the kill. After the battle, he's like, oh, you're 24 damage away from dying. I'm like, yeah, but that's 24 damage. I was still alive. He thought I'd roost here. He predicted the roost, but I'm like, no. Again, I'm not playing around with threats. Slowbro, if I got rid of Slowbro, I got rid of Mawile, and Charizard got at least +1 under its belt, I win. Because Volcarona can't take anything, especially from a Charizard X with Tough Claws. So I go for the Dragon Claw. He thought I would just, roost up. I was like, no, no, no. This thing needs to die, and I wanted Soulbreath to die right there. So Mungus, he just sacks a Mungus, gets rid of Mungus for no reason. So that's what's one threat out of the way. This is another really a part where I was scouting here mostly. So if you saw, I was at 42 damage, and I'm at 118. So 42 to 118 is some 68 damage. I got on to 61. That means I can live one more. So I go for the Dragon Claw on this turn, and I take out, I think I give like 70% of his HP. He scalds, and I live. Now, what's funny is after the battle, in the chat we were talking, he said, I don't run T-Wave because I don't rely on hacks. But here he was hoping for a crit to win, or at least take out my Charizard so that his Volcarona had the capability of sweeping, or at least setting up and doing something in this battle. So that didn't really match up to me. Like, you don't use T-Wave, which is a standard on Slowbro, but you'll hope for a crit to knock out the thing that's going to basically ruin your entire team. As a matter of fact, it does ruin his entire team. I go 6-0 with Charizard, he only kills Delphox, and Charizard cleans up everything on his team. This battle, I think, was the reinvigoration for the Sharpedos. If I lost here, I would probably be a little bit more sad that I'm losing just for no reason. But I think the preparation did help, and I'm glad that I did prep so much, because I thought this was going to be a completely different battle. I actually prepped for Scarf Rotom. I thought he would bring Scarf Rotom. But that was a battle. Go check out Kyle. He's a good battler, and I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out, guys.